Welcome students. Today we are going to start our first lesson, transport in plants. Students, you have already learned about the concept of the transportation. If we want to carry some materials, that is goods, from one place to another place, so that process we called as a transportation. But dear students, in plants, transportation in plants, how it is going on, that in that lesson we will learn now. So you have already learned about the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis process required carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll and sunlight. So this carbon dioxide plants taking from the atmosphere, water absorbed by the roots, it reach up to the leaves and that used in the photosynthesis process, and chlorophyll which is present in the leaves already, and sunlight from sun, that sunlight is used for this process. In that way the food is prepared, that we called as a glucose, and oxygen is the byproduct of this process. Students, the plant containing the shoot system and the root system. This shoot system is containing leaves, then stem, flowers, fruits, and root system is containing only the roots. So students, water and mineral salts are absorbed by the roots are reach up to the all parts of the plant, and food is prepared by the photosynthesis process in the leaves, that also transported to all parts of the plants. So that process we called as a transportation. Now students, what is the definition of this transportation? So the definition of the transportation is that transportation in plants is the process in which the substances are absorbed or synthesized in the one part of the plant are moved to the another part of the plant. That is called as a transportation in plants. Now dear students, the question is that how this transportation is going on? Definition is clear. The two types of tissues are helping for the transportation, and the name of these tissues are xylem and phloem. Yes, this xylem and phloem are called as a conducting tissue, and together this xylem and phloem are called as a vascular bundle. So one by one we will explain now about the xylem and phloem. So our next topic is that only conducting tissues or transporting tissues. First one is the xylem. Students, xylem tissue having function to transport water and minerals from roots to the aerial part of the plant. And xylem having four types of cells. The first one is the tracheids, second one is the vessels, third is the xylem parenchyma, it is also called as a wood parenchyma, and fourth one is the xylem fiber, or we called as a xylem sclerenchyma. Here we will explain about these four types of cells of the xylem tissue. Tracheids. Students, with the help of the figure, I am going to explain about the tracheids. Tracheids are elongated. They are both having the end is the tapering end, and they are arranged one after to another. And these are dead cells. Tracheids are dead cells. Now students, what are the functions of these tracheids? Tracheids are helping to transport water, and the second function is that to give the mechanical strength and support to the plant. Second cell is the vessels. Vessels are tube-like structure and their both ends are open, and these vessels are also dead cells, and vessels also helping to transport water from roots to the aerial part of the plant, and also give the mechanical support and strength to the plant. The third cell is the xylem parenchyma. Xylem parenchyma are helping to store the food material. These are also elongated cells, and xylem fiber, they give the mechanical support to the plant. So these are the 4 cells of the xylem tissue. The next one is the phloem. Phloem having the function to transport the food. What food is prepared by the photosynthesis process in plant leaves, that food is in the form of glucose that is transported from leaves to the all parts of the plant. That function is carried with the help of the phloem tissue. Phloem tissue also consists of the 4 types of cells. The first one is the sieve tubes, second one is the companion cells, third one is the phloem parenchyma, and the fourth one is the phloem sclerenchyma, that is we called as a phloem fiber. The first one is the sieve tubes. Sieve tubes are arranged like the cylindrical in form, one after another. And these sieve tubes having the end pores that perforated with the sieve plates. And dear students, due to that only sieve plates, the food material can be transported from one cell to another cell with the help of this sieve tube. These sieve tubes are the living cells. They are cylindrical in shape and they are helping for transportation of the food particles from one cell to another cell. And near to that sieve tubes, the companion cells are there, adjacent only. And these companion cells are forming a tube-like structure that is cylindrical in shape. And these companion cells are also living cells and they are helping for transporting the food materials from one cell to another cell. And dear students, the third one is the phloem parenchyma. Phloem parenchyma having the function to store the food material. Phloem fiber, fourth one are the phloem fibers which are helping to give the mechanical support to the plant. So dear students, these are all about the xylem and phloem, which are we called as a conducting tissue and together we called as a vascular bundle. So all about we have learned here xylem and phloem. So if you want to differentiate between xylem and phloem, how will you differentiate? So the first point you have to take about the function, then their flow of direction, then which type of the cells are there, that these points are helping to differentiate between xylem and phloem. So xylem having the function to conduct water and mineral salts, phloem translocate the food particles from leaves to the all parts of the plant. Then second, xylem tissue consists of the 4 types of cells, that is tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem sclerenchyma. And always remember that their cells which are the conduction of water are there, that are the dead cells in xylem tissue. And the 4 cells of the phloem, sieve tubes, companion cells, then phloem parenchyma and phloem fiber. And always remember, conducting cells are the living cells, that is the sieve tubes and the companion cells. And the next point is that the flow of direction of water and mineral salt in xylem tissue, it is unidirectional. Upside it is going. So only uni means single. One direction only the flow is going on. But in phloem tissue, the flow of direction is bidirectional. Bi means 2. Means all over the part the food material is going on. Upside also, downside also. So that is why it is bidirectional. And the next point is that when the flow of water and mineral salt is there is a no need of expenditure of energy. But for the phloem tissue, when the flow is bidirectional, so that time the food is translocation, for that expenditure energy is necessary. So these are all about the xylem and phloem. That points how will you differentiate between xylem and phloem? This point. Now our next point is that transport of food. And dear students, always remember, xylem only carry water and minerals. With the help of that activity also we will learn. So if we will take the small twig of that plant, wash it properly, keep in a water, take some water in a beaker and keep that twig, flowering twig. After that, if you will add in that water few drops of red ink and half an hour you have to keep that twig as it is. After half an hour, cut the twig in thin slice and keep it on the slide. Add few drops of water and observe under microscope. You will see that only xylem rings, only the xylem part get only stain red in color. Why? Because only xylem tissue conduct water. No other tissue conducting the water and mineral salts. That is the reason only. After that, we have to learn about the transport of food. During photosynthesis process, food is prepared as glucose, which is stored in the form of sucrose solution. It is always remember, it is in the sap. Sap means, students, it is in liquid form. So it is in solution form and then it is transported through the phloem tissue upward also and downward also of the plant part, including roots also. Roots are also getting the food. And dear students, this process is called as a translocation of food. Food is transported to the all parts of the plant including roots. This process we called as a translocation of food. Our next point is that water absorption by roots. You have already learned about the functions of root. So, roots only absorbing water and mineral salts. So, how the absorption of water by the roots is going on? So, we have to study to understand this absorption. Let us first we will see that the structure of the roots. The structure of the root is including the root system. First point only we saw the root system and shoot system. So the root system consisting the main root and that main root is consisting the lateral branches of the roots we called as a lateral roots. And these lateral roots bearing the very small hair-like structure, that hair-like structure we called as a root hair. And these root hairs are responsible for the absorption of water and mineral salts. So first we will learn about the structure of root hair. Students, I will explain about the root hair. The structure magnified, highly magnified structure of the root hair with the help of this figure. So with the help of this figure you will see that it is a long protuberance. Protuberance means, students, extension of an epidermal cell of the root. This cell being a plant cell has an outer cell wall and an inner cell membrane. The outer cell wall is rigid and the inner cell membrane encloses the nucleus, cytoplasm and its contents. But dear students, what is the speciality of this root hair? The cell wall is, always remember, it is freely permeable. What is the meaning of freely permeable? It allows all substances to pass through it. That is called as a freely permeable. But dear students, the cell membrane is semi-permeable. What is the meaning of semi-permeable? Means the cell membrane allows only the water molecules to pass through it but prevents the entry of any larger molecules. And this feature of cell membrane facilitates the movement of water molecules from the soil into the root hairs. And the next one is the cell sap. Already I have told you. The sap means the liquid, that solution. So the cell sap in the root hair cell is said to be of a high concentration as it contains more solutes compared to the surrounding soil water. And this promotes water absorption. So dear students, here we completed the structure of root hair with the help of this figure. Now students, our next topic is that what is the speciality of this root hair to absorb the water? The first point is that the root hair is well suited for the absorbing water from the soil in three ways. The first one is that the numerous root hairs, numerous means many. If the number of root hairs are more, so absorption will be the more. So that is only the first point. The numerous root hairs provide a large surface area. So more the surface area, greater is the absorption. Second speciality of the root hair contains cell sap, which is highly concentrated than the surrounding water. And the third one, the cell wall is freely permeable, but the cell membrane of this cell, root hair cell, is semi-permeable. And due to that, cell wall permits movements of all types of substances, but the cell membrane is semi-permeable. It allows only some substances to pass through it. It allows only some substances to pass through it. So dear students, here we completed about the speciality of the root hairs. In this part, first students, we have completed about what is meant by transportation in plant. Then which tissue are helping for the transportation in plant. Then next you have learned only the xylem tissue transported water and mineral salts. Next one you have learned about what is meant by translocation of food. Then root hair, magnified structure of the root hair and speciality of the root hairs. So dear students, here we completed our part first. Thank you.